I'm going to show you how to get thousands of free books on a Kindle just like this. Dig it out of your closet or grab one on eBay for super cheap and start collecting your own library right at home. If you want to start reading again, or you have kids with required school reading, you might want to check out an old Kindle that can be had for very little money. In April of this year, Amazon dropped support for these older Kindle devices, but today I'm going to show you how they are still incredibly useful and a cost-effective way to own your books outright without the oversight of Amazon. I never really got into e-readers when they first came out. I thought the e-ink displays were pretty cool, but I couldn't really justify the cost when most of the time reading a real book is just as easy. But now with their prices dropping, especially since support is dropping, this becomes a lot more interesting of a prospect. I picked this little guy up for $17 on eBay. I think shipping was about $5. And I was really crossing my fingers because I'm a fan of having everything crammed into one little device, right? It's one thing to read books on your phone, on a tablet. It works, but something about the light blasting you in the face, the eye strain, these little e-readers are super cool. Mine's about to die. We'll plug it in here in a second so I can show you the software that brings this back to life. The beauty of this is that you don't need any kind of Amazon services. I don't even have an Amazon account hooked up to this right now. The software we're going to be looking at today is going to allow you to just drag and drop books, convert books over from one format to another, and drop them directly onto the Kindle. Let's get this little guy plugged in. On standby, this Kindle, and I think this is a 4th gen. This will last me 3 weeks on standby with some reading, maybe like 2.5 weeks. So maybe not as good as it was when it was brand new, but I still think that's plenty. The software we're going to be taking a look at today is called Calibre or Calibre. Not sure how they want it pronounced, but I'm going to call it Calibre for the rest of this video. Installation's pretty easy on just about any platform on the desktop. Here's their website. We're going to take a look at how to download it. It's available on all platforms. If you're on Windows, you're going to go ahead, hit this download link and follow through with the download, hit execute and get yourself installed. If you're on Linux, you can follow this tutorial. We can see that Calibre is available in the Arch user repository. It is also available as a Flatpak if your distribution supports Flatpak. And if you're on a Debian-based system like Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Zorin, these instructions right here look like they're going to get you where you want to go. Do me a favor and don't read too much into the titles that I have in my library. When I bought this Kindle and my wife's Kindle, they both luckily came with a bunch of books loaded up. So some of them are a little bit out there for me. That's kind of what it's all about, right? Read everything. There are a couple functions that we're going to take a look at. Most of all, how I talked about this software being very, very friendly to all kinds of formats. One of the most important functions is this convert function. So let's say that this book right here was in PDF format and I needed it to be in Mobi format for this Kindle, which you will. We're going to go over here, select whatever title needs to be converted, go over to convert books, and it'll bring you to this page where you can edit the metadata. If your title isn't looking correct, you can edit that here. Make sure the author is correct so you can properly find it later on. Go to this drop-down menu in the top right, and you can see just how many. You've got docx files, so Microsoft Word files, PDF, if you wanted to do the opposite. If you had purchased a Kindle, let's say it was loaded up with 400 books, well, that's fantastic. You now have 400 books, and you can get those dropped in off the Kindle and put it into your Calibre library and onto your subsequent hard drives or cloud storage, whatever you'd like. Those are your books now. Another function that's going to be really useful for you starting off with Calibre is this top device button. So if there was one of these books that didn't exist in my current library, we could go over here and hit save to disk, and we would select where we would want to save that on our computer, and that's ours. And it's a very legitimate way to get books. If your Kindle came with 400 titles, just like if you bought a bunch of books at a thrift store, someone donated them to you, you got some hand-me-down books, there you go. They're just in digital format. Here I want to show you an example of downloading a free as in free, ebook to your device and your computer. This is a great resource. This is Gutenberg.org. These are 100% free. These are public domain books. And this may not be all you want to read, but this is going to give you a good example of how to load up any ebook or document that you find online to your Kindle. Now, there are a lot of other resources that I can't mention to you where to get free ebooks, but you can use the power of search and your own imagination on where to get the things that you want to read. Now, I don't have any preference on what we download here, so we're just going to go with Poems by William Blake. Now, when we look here, we can read it online, which is a great little tester if you are not sure whether or not this is a title that you're interested in. Let's say I sampled it with that function, and man, this one's for me. I gotta have the whole thing. I need it. Now all we're gonna do is go to this green highlighted option, and this particular title is available in EPUB 3. We're gonna go ahead and click it. And I have a folder on my computer just dedicated to my Calibre library. So I'm gonna go ahead and rename this. That way it's a little bit easier for me to find it later on. And then I'm gonna hit save. Okay, we're gonna pop back into Calibre here. Now you're gonna notice we downloaded that EPUB, but it isn't currently present here in Calibre. So we're gonna wanna go over here to add books. And I've already clicked that. I'm going to go back to the directory where we downloaded the book. So maybe you downloaded it and it dropped into downloads. Maybe you put it on your desktop, and we renamed it so it was easy to find. So here's Poems by William Blake. We're going to open. There it is. The art, everything's present. Now that we have this book in our library, we're going to use the convert function that I mentioned earlier in the video. Up here at Convert Books, make sure that you have the title selected that you want to convert. Right? If we're over here, we're not going to convert the correct one. Hit convert. We're going to go up to this top right panel. We're going to hit Mobi for one of these types of Kindles. If all the rest of the metadata looks good, we're going to go down and hit OK. Now it's going to tell you that the job is processing. And we see that it's finished. Okay, now with this book still highlighted, we can go ahead and hit Send Device up here in the top panel. And it looks like that job is underway. Now, sometimes this takes a little while depending on the length of the title or the format or your hardware, but just give it some time. And if it's taken more than 5 minutes, then go ahead and try the job again. Sometimes I've found that restarting it will help it out a little bit. Let's take a look and see if it made it safely over to our Kindle. Now, before we eject our device, we're going to go up here to Send to Device. We're going to hit that little drop down arrow and eject. And here we are. I went ahead and used the keyboard function and searched up Poems. And here we go, Poems by William Blake. Just like that. Let's go ahead and unplug the Kindle. It's real. We're not connected to any internet. There's your book. I hope this video was useful, and I hope it gave you hope for the future of reading books. And I hope it inspired you to start collecting, maybe start reading again, because it's great for your brain. And as always, remember, you are not the product. You are not the consumer. You are the deciding factor in your own life. Until next time.